Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. We are pleased to be joined by the head boys basketball coach at Milford High School. Of course, that's David Gilbert. How's it going, man?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing well. Of course, going into this season, how excited are you? Because this is year 10 for you as head coach of the Mavericks.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very excited every year. Just a different challenge, new group of kids to hopefully influence and help become better basketball players and even better people. So we got just a great group of kids that I'm looking forward to coach, and it's gonna be fun.
In your 10 years, I know we're going through this because I've known you for quite a while.
Yeah.
Going in through all the changes that you've seen so far in your 10 years, because I think you started out before the K. I don't know if it was before the KVC days.
No, I was KLAA early, so we were with Grand Blanc Brighton. So then, I was part of the
Good
transition
times
to the LVC. But back in my playing days, I played in the KVC. So I know it all. I've been through it all. I've seen it all. But I've seen both the old KLAA when Milford was there, and obviously the new LVC. So
yeah, the Lakes Valley Conference. Hard to believe.
Yep.
I think it's 5th or 6th year there.
Yeah, it is absolutely. Yep. So I was just looking at that stuff up the other day.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about some of the guys that you have coming back for you and some names to watch as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a super deep team this year, but it starts with two of our key cogs that were starters last year. Sam Lewis,
yep.
At honorable mention All-State last year, averaged 18 a game. It's one of those things. He's one of those guys. You're just fortunate to coach. He makes everything, everybody around him better. He's a humble kid. He truly just enjoys putting on the Milford uniform and playing hoops. And so he's, I think, a teammate's dream. He's fun to play with, and he's a coach's dream as far as he does everything he asks you to do. So just excited for his senior year and watching him lead and grow as a person too. And Luke Jacklick started at point guard for us last year. And when you can bring your floor general back, and the growth he's made over 2 years has been phenomenal. Those two pieces are key pieces for us. And those are the familiar faces that I'm sure are going to be on everybody's scout reports this year.
Absolutely. Maybe and some other names to watch out for as well.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like we could go, 13 deep, but we scrimmaged yesterday and we had a good one. And I told our assistants, I want to see these guys on the floor. I want to see them in game situations. So we're going to play a lot of guys this year. Some other names you're just going to see. We have a 6'8" junior, Anthony Hutter. He was up as a sophomore last year, and he's played a ton of basketball, continued to get better. And when you can roll a 6'8" guy out, in the middle of the floor, he's going to be a cog for us, on the defensive end. But he finishes well with both hands, and he's going to jump on some people's radars this year too. So I think, he comes back with some experience. We have 9 juniors, and I feel like I could list them all right now, and they all just do a lot of good things. And we're talking a lot about just defining and playing within your roles. When you have your two pieces coming back and you got the big 6'8" guy in the middle, what can you do to help make those guys better around? And we've got a ton of juniors that are going to fill that role. And we have 2 sophomores up, and Carson Lutz and Owen Stark. And they're good. They're good. They're good players. They're going to play. We wouldn't bring kids up to not play. And so they're going to be a bbig part of what we do. And they fit great, just great. They're great kids, and they're fun to be around. So they fit in well with the whole mix of everybody.
You kind of talked about it a little bit, but you had a scrimmage yesterday, so you kind of have an idea of what your team might look like overall. Yeah. What do you think about your scouting report of your own team?
Yeah. I think I'm not big on throwing out big predictions and things, and those. I really try to take it one game at a time. And to me, it's when you've been doing this 10 years, it's about just maximizing your team and growth. But yeah, we have some absolute talent, and so of course expectations are high. Our kids just go in and expect to win every game. That's kind of got to be your mentality, and that's what I want them to approach it. Yeah, you go in, you prepare to win. You prepare and you do your job, you focus on the process, and I think the winning will take care of itself. You're not always going to shoot well, play well, defend well. It's high school sports, right? But you're trying to, obviously, those times where you don't do those things, you just want to make those less and less and have your good moments be more and more, and so I think our league, honestly, from top to bottom is the strongest I've seen it.
Yeah.
I think Waterford, I say everything's going to go through Waterford Mott because they've won 4 out of the 5 years, you know, and when they've dominated like that, they won last year, they return everybody. You know, it's got to go through them. And we actually play them second game of the year on Friday night at our place. So I know our guys are looking forward to that. And, you know, if you want to be the best, you got to play the best and beat the best. So we're looking forward to that early season matchup, really to kind of see where we're at too. So,
Yeah, and you kind of mentioned it and kind of led into my next question a little bit
yeah,
about the Lakes Valley Conference. I mentioned it's been around. I mean, this is the 5th or 6th year that
yeah,
this was
yep,
created as 9 teams bolted from the KLAA just like
yeah,
6 years ago, and of course that also led Pinckney to go to the SEC,
yeah, yeah,
back to the SEC. I mean, but overall, what do you think the league's going to be? And you kind of mentioned it. You know, Mott's going to be really good.
yeah,
Ottering's always a solid program. And there's also a lot of more questions with the league so far. Of course, South Line has a new head coach this year,
yeah, yeah.
with Jeff Schmitz going over there. And yeah, just overall, what do you think about the league so far?
Yeah, and like I said, I think you got to give credit and tip, you know, the cap to Mott. They won with a young team last year. Lakeland's going to be very solid. Ron Thompson does a great job over there.
Yep.
He's been there, I think, I want to say like almost 7, 8 years now, and
Yeah.
they bring back a huge core of their team, and their big man in Turnquist is just a heck of a player.
Yep.
You know, South Line East is a team to watch. You know, I think they play fast. They've got some sharpshooters. They had a great young core last year that are moving up to the varsity. And you know, when you talk about the teams like South Line, you mentioned Jeff. I know Jeff. Been getting to know Jeff really well. He's they're going to be excited, you know. And they're anytime there's a new coach, there's that excitement of you know what's going to be new, and kids are looking for opportunities to impress. And so those guys will young team, but will continue to get better as year goes on. And all 3 Walled Lake schools, you know, they have veteran coaches. You know, Dwayne Graves over at Western, Chuck Spolsky's been there for 15 years. Negotiating at Northern, like those programs are solid. They're solidified. You know, they're good at what they do. You know what they're going to do, and you got to beat them. You know, playing your game too. So honestly, I think any given night, anybody can beat anybody this year. It's just going to be one of those years. I don't think there's a clear favorite. You got to, like I said, tip your cap to Mott and say maybe they are because they bring everybody back, but they won a lot of 1 or 2 point games last year. I think they had maybe 2 buzzer beaters to kind of lead their way to the conference victory. And hey, that's part of it though, right? Learning how to win those close games. So obviously we all got to bring our A games every single night in the LVC.
Well, let's talk about your non-conference schedule to start off the season. Season literally starts next week. Going to talk about who some of the opponents that you have.
Yeah, I honestly think this is the most games I've ever played before the new year. I think we have 8 games in December. We're hosting our own Christmas tournament this year, which we're excited about. DeWitt's coming in, Pinckney's going to come over, and Heartland's going to come over. So we're going to do a little 4-way tournament over Christmas break. We open up with Hazlitt on Monday. I'll be honest, don't know a ton about them, but we'll obviously do some scouting as much as we can for first game of the year. You know, try to find out what pieces they bring back. Livonia Churchill's on the schedule. Salem, we played them last year. I know they've got a nice core coming back.
Yep.
Southfield A&T, that's going to be a good preparation game for us as we get into the heat of the league conference. So we've got I just think a nice balance of teams that we're gonna see over the course of December to really prep us for the long haul in the new year.
For sure. Yeah, and of course also you have some conference games kind of sprinkled in there. What's it like to go from these non-conference games and then conference games are just like, oh,
I know.
Yep, Mott's next week. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that crazy? We've always done that in the LVC. We have played home and homes ever since we started. So, before we even went to 22 games, 16 of your 20 games were league games. So we have to fit some of those in before Christmas break. But, I think the kids, it's nice to have that game you rev up for early. You know what I'm saying? Getting excited for the big Mott matchup. And we play Walled Lake Western before break. I think they're one of the teams that are going to contend for a title too. Dylan Smith is coming back. He's a strong junior. I mean, he's going to be one of the best players in the league, and they've got some nice pieces around him too. So, we have 2 big league games before Christmas break. And, but like I said, I think our kids are going to be looking forward to it and excited about it. And it's nice to have those games where you have some familiarity to really test yourself early to see where do we have to get better in the long stretch of January through March.
For sure. And also, what do you want to see out of your team these first few games? Because you kind of mentioned it there. You got some tough opponents. You got Hazlitt, you got Waterford Bot to open up, and then
Yeah,
you're gonna go to, and then you guys are on the road at church. So 2 out of the first 3 of your games are on the road.
yeah. I don't know if you look even further. I want to say it's a good chunk on the road early. So
Yeah.
that's when you have a veteran team. Like I said, the 4 seniors. I didn't mention those guys earlier, but I want to. We have Luke Jacklick's twins. Nathan Jacklick's just a gritty player for us. Luke Sirlett's going to do some good things for us, and having those guys there that played minutes last year, like I want to challenge them early. I want to see, are we ready? And I think they are. I really do. I think they've been playing basketball since they were little kids together, and and they've been looking forward to this senior year. They all do. When you grow up in Milford, you play for Milford, you take pride in wearing that jersey, and I think those guys are ready to be challenged. They want to play good teams, and going on the road early, we're prepping for that end, right? You want to get better as you head towards March, and being tested early is only going to get us there. So it's good to go on the road and play in those types of environments.
All right. Well, Dave Gilbert, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us, and best of luck to the Mavericks this season.
Actually, thanks, Casey. Appreciate it.